Hello YouTube, since we last met, I have decided to give up on my life entirely and become a traditional housewife. Should we make a Victorian sponge cake? Come, before my children wake up, before my husband's back for supper. Day 6 of being in London and I'm very tired today, but we came to Cotswold and it's so beautiful. This isn't giving, but this is giving.
The British countryside is out of a fairy tale. We took a train from London to Bourton-on-the-Water, which is one of the stations in Cotswold, and we started our trip with an English high tea.
तबाही मचाई है. Like no scone was left unturned. Everything was eaten. Look at the rest. And then look at the bhan called Dubey family.
Ideally, it'd be best to drive from London to Cotswold, but we didn't have a car, so we ended up ordering a taxi from the station that dropped us right to our Airbnb. And oh my god, how breathtaking it was. It's this beautiful old cottage that's been revamped with modern interiors, and that is literally my favorite thing about any kind of architecture. And every detail, right down to the bedding and the way that the Airbnb smelled, was just perfect. We were ready to be on vacation. We went to the local grocery store and picked up a couple of groceries. Look at the size of these strawberries.
So we have just stepped out in the evening. It's about 7 o'clock and the streets are now empty because all the tourists have gone away and it's the weekend.
Everything in this small town shuts by 5 o'clock, which includes these interior stores that dot the entire high street. We ended up at Horse and Hound to have an immaculate British meal that ended with bread pudding. All the restaurants have these outside sit-outs. As you know, reality television is crucial to my digestion, so we watched some Love Island. The next day, there was some kind of Ferrari expo in the town, and people had driven in to see all the cars. There were some bikes that had been fixed up. After that, I headed out to some of the interior stores in the vicinity to kind of see if I could fantasize about a completely parallel existence, one in which I was a traditional housewife that made apple pie from scratch, and I lived a really simple, calm life in the countryside.
कुछ ज़्यादा ही सुनहरा है. वहाँ पे देखो. ये घोड़ा. This fucking horse is so beautiful. वहाँ पे है एक खाली football field. Cameraman. बहुत ही सुंदर. I don't think if I lived here I would ever want to hustle. Like, I now understand hustle culture and why you need it. I've never been so at peace in my life than here today. I wish I could stay here, but it's too expensive. And then I might need to hustle to come back here. It's a loop of life, as I'm realizing. But come, cameraman. Show them the clouds, cameraman.
I've had a life-changing experience at Cotswold. The food is clean, the air is clean. It's too much high quality.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Bharatiya Endurance Party. Currently we're climbing to the top of this hill. At the top of this hill, I feel like there might be another hill, but we're not really sure. There are some benches about half a mile in. And if you look below, it's just wilderness. There was some sheep a little bit earlier. I don't know if that's going to be part of this vlog or not. But what I have learned from all of this is that हम देसियों में कोई शायद मैं अपनी बात कर रही हूँ पर कोई स्ट्रेंथ ही नहीं है. मतलब मेरी घुटनों की कैल्शियम डिफिशिएंसी उभर के आ रही है. मेरी मम्मी बहुत तेज चल रही है और मेरी सिस्टर ने बोल दिया है कि अब मुझे उठा लो भगवान. So let's see if we make it somewhere. My Masi is very determined. She's like marched ahead of all of us. And then that's the city over there. And that's the hill we just climbed. It looks gentle, but it's quite a bitch.
We took a taxi to a touristy nearby town called Bourton-on-the-Water because it's on the water. It was full of people, but again, because it was Sunday and I don't know, the rules here are strange. Everything shut at 4 o'clock. So before we knew it, it was a ghost town.
For those who are wondering what this tattoo stands for, please look at this. S for my mom, then there's M for my sister, and then there's S for my dad again. And that's how you arrive at this. So if you are a lucky man or woman, you might end up on my arm one day. And it's maritime flags. That's what my DMs look like.
After 48 hours of magical peace and rest and lots of food, we were heading out of Cotswold. Not to miss these really cute vintage cars that just keep pulling up in this town. Honestly, I felt like I was in a James Bond film because every highway just had these beautiful grasslands and Ferraris zooming through. Bye, Cotswold. You've been amazing. I'm gonna come back.
Cotswold Hall. First, from the grocery store, I got some candy. This is grape candy.
This is Nana from the future reporting that the candies suck.
And some Aperol, like spritz candy.
This
Not
one sucked
Aperol,
even
spritz
more.
Candy. Then I got some relishes. There's salmon relish and mackerel relish. And I got this really pretty poster to get framed. It's like, I don't know why it's orange pears. I've never seen an orange pear, but then I got some vintage trays from the Cotswold. One is this, and I got this Victorian vintage antique embroidery piece which was framed, which is so pretty. And I got some pendants. I got one antique pendant and I got one vintage pendant. This is the antique pendant. And this is the vintage pendant. You can see it against my burnt forehead. A great canvas, if any. Hey, it's a nice tika also. हीरा मंडी शादी हीरा मंडी
मेरा दिल चुरा लीजिए सब्सक्राइब कीजिए फिर हम आए वापस लंदन में and the weather turned so hard so fast. It started hailing, it started raining. For now it's goodbye from me. Love you, kisses. I'm back in India by the way.